As I watched my grandson Tim saddle up this morning, it made me stop and think. Back when I was a kid, my father said as soon as I could swing a saddle up on a horse, I was on my own. I couldn't have been more than about 14 at the time. I only knew I had this fierce longing to get out there and see this wide, wonderful country they call the last frontier.
You feel it in the warm sun. You'll hear it in the trees. You'll see it in the morning light. You'll feel it in the breeze. You know you're there. The grass is blowing in the wind. The sun is shining high. The mountains climbing to the end of the open sky. Alaska down to Washington, Idaho and Oregon, Nevada and California, you know you're there. It's the far west. We're wild and free is nature's song, from Juneau clear to Nome, where earth and sea and sky are one, 1,000 miles to roam. This land is long, this land is wide, from mountains to the sea, from cities to the countryside, 1,000,000 sights to see. We're moving on.
The tallest mountain in the United States is Alaska's Mount McKinley, but the great western mountain chains run south along the coast, down into the state of Washington.
I come from the land of Washington, I shouldn't have gone away. Left my heart in Washington, I am coming back to stay. Prettiest skies in Washington, prettiest sights to see. It's the place I'm going now, so come along with me. When pioneers were moving west and saw this land, they called it home, Idaho. They called it home, Idaho. They called it home. Down by the sea in Oregon, I hear the waves and the wind, smell the salt air, feel the sand, and time is told by the sun. The sea is gold in the sun. The sails move along through the blue of the sky, to the song of the water and the wind.
Way down near the Southern California border is another picture-perfect city that sits on the shores of the Pacific, San Diego.
The cities by the sea, silhouettes against the sky. L.A., San Diego, and on to San Francisco. Nowhere else I'd rather be than those cities by the sea. The cities by the sea, by the sun. The cities by the sea, by the sun.
It was more than 50 years ago when I set out with the wandering fever to see the West as she grew up. I had no idea then where the roads would lead. I just knew I had to get out and be part of it. Today I can see that same restless wandering urge in my grandson Tim. His imagination soars when he dreams of what's out there in this wide, wonderful country. Take it from an old-timer who's been there. This land they call the Far West is still the last frontier.
You feel it in the warm sun. You hear it in the trees. You see it in the evening light. You feel it in the breeze. You know you're there. The grass is blowing in the wind. The sun is shining high. The mountains climbing to the end of the open sky. You know you're there.